All right, welcome. So with tonight's practice, you're going to need a brick, a yoga brick. It'd be nice to have a yoga bolster or a firm pillow as well. And if you have a yoga strap, grab that too, because that's going to be really useful for a couple of things we are doing tonight. If you haven't got one, don't worry. I'll give you an alternative. So we're starting tonight's practice with a lovely stretch through the back of the neck. This can be really nice if you get those horrible headaches that go right up the back of your neck and into your skull. So we want to roll onto our backs and just place the brick underneath the ridge of the head. So if you've got your brick here and it's on the flat side and that doesn't feel like much of a stretch, just roll it so that it's on the mid side and the edge of the brick is just tucked underneath the ridge of your head. Nice stretch on the back of the neck here. Shoulders are right down. Palms are facing upwards. Knees are in, so they drop together. And your feet are wide, so about as wide as your mat here. And I'm going to get you to take a couple of what I call changing breaths, where you take a deep breath in and then you sigh the breath out. And with each sighing breath out, allow yourself just to settle into this restorative pose. Let yourself focus on the sensations of your breath coming in and out of the nostrils, the coolness of the inhalation and the warmth of the exhalation. Noticing if you're holding tension in your jaw. And with each breath out, imagine little screws on the edge of your jaw are unwinding. With each exhalation, they're unwinding an extra turn, so your jaw just drops down and the tongue becomes heavier and heavier in the mouth. Noticing if there's any tension around your eyes. So very consciously soften the muscles around the eye sockets and between the brows. And allow your cheeks to just drop, relax, soften. Allow the relaxation of the face to flow down your neck and into your shoulders. Back of the shoulders, back of the arms heavy. And then flowing your focus down your spine and into your pelvis. Visualizing the sacrum, that triangle bone at the bottom of your spine that holds the two sides of your pelvis together. Just feeling the heaviness of the sacrum. As you breathe out, feel your sacrum becoming heavier and heavier, so that it feels like your hips are widening, spreading. I'm going to get you to take 3 humming bee breaths out. So you breathe in through the back of your nostrils and then just hum on your exhalation, making a nice long buzzy bee sound. Just noticing the effect of that buzzy bee breath. Noticing your mind. Noticing how relaxed you've made your jaw simply by focusing on releasing, allowing muscles to soften. So I'm going to get you to slowly take the brick away and just let your head draw down onto the ground. Take a moment. And then we're going to take the brick or a tightly rolled up blanket. So if the brick feels not comfortable, you'll need a tightly rolled up blanket instead. I'm going to put this underneath the bra strap, so across where the shoulders are. And we want to drop the head back now, so the chin is up, opening the front of the neck. And see if you can take your arms out to the sides with your elbows bent. Now, we can take the feet wide, knees can be wide as well. You might even let the knees drop out, or maybe even slide the feet away from you. So just see what feels nice through your lower back and into your pelvis. And then I want to get you to take a bit of movement with the arms as you breathe. So now we're focusing on the inhalation. And as you breathe in, slide your hands up above your head, stretching the rib cage out to the side. And as you breathe out, just slide the elbows back again. So it feels a little bit like you're doing a snow angel with your arms bent at the elbows. Doesn't need to be a big movement, but as we breathe in, we lift the elbows to stretch the intercostal muscles between the ribs, fanning the ribs out to the sides, warming up the diaphragm, visualizing the diaphragm as you breathe in, spreading out like an umbrella. And as you breathe out, imagine the spokes of the umbrella are just drawing back in towards the stem of the umbrella. And do these last couple of breaths very slowly. Hold the top of the breath in, sigh the breath out. This time, as you take the arms above the head, just leave them there and let your armpits get a gentle stretch. Breathe deeply. Use your deep inhalation to stretch the ribs open through the heart center. Very good. Now draw the elbows down, bend your knees, take your feet onto the ground, push your feet into the ground to lift your torso up and just allow your back to come down onto the ground flat for a moment, settling here. Little muscles around the spine, just releasing into the ground. And then we're going to push the feet into the ground, lift the pelvis up and put the brick just underneath the sacrum. So on that triangular bony bit of the pelvis. Start off on the lower side of the brick. If that feels fine, try taking the brick on the mid side and just resting the pelvis there. A little bit of a tilt through the pelvis. Fantastic. Chin is drawn in, so we've got that nice stretch on the back of the neck now. Shoulders are down away from our ears. Palms are facing upwards. And I'm going to get you to do the physiological sigh. So it's a double breath in, a pause at the top of the breath, and then a sighing breath out. It's quite nice to open your fingers on that double breath in. So you sort of open them and then open them, stretch the fingers, and then just soften the hands as the sighing breath leaves your body. So breathing in, expanding the lungs. Quite nice to visualize the psoas muscles in this position. So the muscles that go from the inner thigh through the pelvic floor, they go through the hip flex a bit here, go through the diaphragm, the bottom of the diaphragm, and then they attach into the back of the spine, the lower part of the spine, the lumbar spine. So as you're breathing in, imagine these muscles are expanding with your breath. And as you just sigh the breath out, just imagine that kind of dropping. That's the letting go, dropping down to the ground. Double breath in, opening the fingers. Sighing breath out. Pull both those inhalations in through the back of the nostrils, creating that lovely ujjayi sound. Long, slow sighing breath out. Welcome if you're just joining. This is a lovely way to spend a few minutes every day, pelvis propped, the heart just above the head, helping us to drop into that parasympathetic nervous system and just taking the pressure off the pelvic floor. Very good. Now, if your pelvis feels happy, sacrum feels happy on that half side, fab, we're going to take our legs up towards the ceiling. If that feels a little bit too precarious, just go back to the flatter side and then legs up towards the ceiling. Arms up towards the ceiling too. So we're just letting the limbs drop down into the sockets. Feel weighted through your legs, weighted through your arms. Really nice on the upper back, where we have these oxytocin receptors. Let your upper back just flatten into the ground, melt into the ground. Let the weight of your arms really press into the back of the sockets. I'm going to massage the feet, massage the hands around in circles, going into the wrists and the ankles. Good, maybe a little bit more vigorously, stretching out through the fingers. See if you can bend and stretch the toes as well. And just noticing your breathing, so the chin drawn back, we create that slight constriction on the back of the throat, encouraging that ujjayi breath, so it's a little bit of a soft Darth Vader sound to the breath. Good, and then just gently giving your hands and your feet and your ankles and your wrists and your forearms and your calves and your knees and your elbows and your thighs and your upper arms a jiggle. That's the way. Take a deep breath in, and then as we exhale, we make a bit of noise like this. Rinsing the fascia. Deep breath in. Vibrating breath out. Very good. Just let everything drop down for a moment. Take that brick out from underneath the sacrum. Massage your back onto the ground. Just take a moment, hands on belly. Feeling underneath the skin surface of your body. Feeling a gentle rise and fall of your lower belly. Imagine on the inhalation, your sitting bones are widening, your pelvis is being breathed. And exhalation, there's just a subtle retraction inwards. Opening and closing, just this lovely ebb and flow of the breath, nice and low. Okay, keep your knees bent, feet slightly further in, toes straight forward. I'm going to take off my little pop socks now. My sexy little pop socks. All right, let's push the feet into the ground, massage your pelvis up, and then roll your spine back down. Visualize a pearl necklace, and as you come down, you're putting one pearl at a time onto your mat. I'm going to create a bit of space between the vertebrae. Push your heels into the ground as you come up. Let's breathe in on the way up, and then just let the breath go, sigh it out as you come down. Yeah, coming back up again, just pause here. Keep pushing your heels into the ground. Now draw your shoulders towards each other, elbows towards each other. Palms can be facing down on the ground, fingers reaching towards heels. If you can easily interlace your hands, do that, and then just press your wrists and your forearms into the ground. And then I'm going to get you to slide your knees away from you. So imagine your knees are trying to pull towards the wall opposite. Push your heels down into the ground a bit more, and then take a nice deep breath in and spread your heart center. So imagine your chest is opening out. Very good. Take the arms nice and wide. Draw your shoulders out from underneath you, and then very, very slowly peel your spine down, one vertebra at a time, very, very slowly, over several breaths out, and just let your back settle into the ground. I'm going to get you to stretch your legs out. Just rest for a moment in Shavasana. Palms up. Just feeling the energy up and down your spine. So we're going to take the head in the other direction. So you now want to take your arms underneath your body with your palms facing down. So just put your foot on the ground, push your bottom up, draw your arms underneath you. You have to do one side at a time, roll from side to side. Elbows as close together as possible, palms down, shoulders squeezing together. And then you push your feet out as far away from you as you can, and you pull your toes back towards your face. So stretch the soles of your feet. And then what we do is push the forearms, so your elbows down to your wrists, down into the ground. So you push downwards, and as you push downwards, let your heart lift and just drop your head back. So it's very, very, very gently touching the ground, just at the back of the fontanelle. So the top of your head, just at the back of the top of your head. Chin is up, elbows are pushing down, chest is lifting, shoulders are opening. Taking nice full breaths in through the back of the nostrils. Stretching your chest. This is called fish pose. And then to come out of this, we just draw the chin down towards the neck again. So you slide across the ridge of your head, slowly come down, and then take the palms out from underneath you and just let the palms be up towards the ceiling. Let your feet flop out for a moment. And again, just feeling the effect on your spine. So lovely. Kind of checking in with the tingling underneath the skin surface. And That's the way. So, ladies, you're going to need a belt for the next bit. If you haven't got a belt, I'll just give you some instructions without. But if you've got a belt, a yoga belt, those of you who are just joining, sorry, I didn't get to tell you this before, but it's useful to have a belt. So I'm going to give you a moment to grab your belts. So those of you who have got yours already beside you, just bring yourself into a little squeezy knees to chesty pose. Rock across your spine. Massage, massage, massage. Ah. Good. And then hands on top of the knees. Let's just open up the hip joints. So massaging those knees in a big circle, like so. Focusing on the sacrum at the back of your pelvis. And you visualize the top of your sacrum and then the bottom of your sacrum, getting a massage up and down the sacrum. That's the way. Good. Push your feet up towards the ceiling, toes spread and pulling down towards you. And just rub the back of your legs for a moment. Rub-de-dub-de-dub-de-dub. Push the back of your pelvis, that sacrum area, into your mat. Your thigh bones down into your pelvis. And then you draw your toes out and you leave your heels together. You've got the outside of your legs. Like so. Very good. Now grabbing your strap, what we want to do is what do you call it when you put the edge of a strap into you buckle it, buckle your strap. So at the end. So put your strap end in through the little I'm having a perimenopausal moment. Menopausal moment. In through those circle loop thingies and then hook it back again so that it does that and it's not going to fall apart. If you've got a dressing gown strap or something like that, just tie it at one end. Okay, so we want to hook that strap around the ball of the feet. Take a moment here. You're just holding onto your strap, the little loop of the strap, and letting the back of the legs get a nice stretch here. Just gently kind of push your sacrum down into the ground and let your heels push up. So we get quite a big stretch into the calves and into the insertion points of the hamstrings here. Let the shoulders be nice and relaxed. Good. And then we're just going to slide the feet wide. So go to as wide as you can with your strap here, and then just kind of hold on to the strap. Let your arms be nice and relaxed. And again, I'm just going to just slightly pull the back of the pelvis into the ground. Make sure you're not arching your back. So we want to have the back of the rib cage nice and snug onto the ground as well. So there is a little bit of activation in the deep core muscles. That's it. Slight turning in of the toes. There's a little bit of a pigeon toe thing going on. Edges of the feet on a very slight inward angle. Now your pelvic floor muscles being nice and relaxed. And then just go ahead and bring your knees down towards your chest a bit, bending the knees, and allow the feet to come out to the sides a bit more. And again, you're just kind of holding the edge of your loop with your fingertips. Let your elbows be nice and relaxed. Again, checking in pelvic floor muscles. Have they just gone, especially around the anus? Notice, see if you can flower the anus. That's the terminology. La, 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 nice and relaxed there. And at the same time, you want to be very consciously softening the jaw because it's amazing how this area here and this area here are all fascially connected by this big band that goes down the front line of the body. Breathe in and then gormless sighing, open the jaw. So obviously if you don't have a strap, you're just grabbing hold of your feet or your calf muscles. Now, this next thing, if you don't have a strap, you're gonna put the brick back underneath your head. So we're gonna go back to feet towards each other, bend your knees, and just hook, not where the belt bit is, but, so not where the ring thingies are, but on the side, have that on the side. You just want to take the strap and place it on the ridge of your head. So where we had the brick before, we've now got the strap just above your ears. You have to sort of like a headband, and then we straighten the legs as much as we can. Palms are up, and this is a fabulous stretch on the back of the neck. So if you haven't got a strap, you are instead legs up, and then the head is just resting on your brick. Yeah. Maybe grab your blanket and put it over your toes and just pull your toes down towards you a bit. But if you've got a strap, this is one of my all-time favorite poses. Palms up, close the eyes, and you slightly draw the legs away from you to increase that cradling of your head, gently stretching into the neck muscles, the scalenes here, coming into the back. Oh, that's so good. And then you can always drop your head back to get a bit into your hamstrings. So have a play, see if you can find a very happy place, and then let your face be as gormless and as relaxed as possible. Letting your inner eye gaze be just at that point between your eyebrows. And allow yourself to drop into a very deliberate inner stillness, just for these next few breaths, precious breaths. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, well, this is it. This is me done. I'm here. I'm staying here. And if that's the case, please do. Just stay here for a bit longer. And then when you feel like rejoining, then you can. But I'm going to slowly come out of this so that I can continue to give you a few more postures, even though, to be honest, I feel like just staying here myself. Hey, this is a good one. So unhooking the head, slowly bring the head down. Draw those feet out of your strap. And then just take a moment lying down in your Shavasana. Feeling your back muscles soften. Back of your neck soften. Okay, so we're going to move on to our tummies now, very slowly, bending one knee, pushing the foot into the ground, shift the hips to the side, floppity, floppy, flop, roll onto tummy, and take your hands under your shoulders at elbows in, tops of the feet quite wide and pressing into your mat. And then we're just going to breathe in and do a tiny lift up through the chest and then a float back down again. So not your normal kind of push in straight away, just a slight float and then a down. A nice deep breath in. It's more of a stretching the spine out, lengthening. Little mini cobras. Very good. Now take the arms out to the sides in a cactus shape. And I'm just going to get you to leave your left elbow where it is. So it's an L shape. Elbow straight out from your shoulder. That's really important. Not too low, not too high. Straight out. Take your right fingers, slide them down to where your right elbow was, and have your fingers on the mat or on the ground, but your wrist off the mat. And then you push the fingers into the ground and you lift your right hip, bend your right knee, and just look over your right shoulder. Allow the inside of your left shoulder to drape onto the ground, so it will drape towards the ground. So we're going quite deep into stretching, lengthening, opening, releasing, squeezing out all the built up crap in our neck and shoulders. And then flow down and do that on the other side. So back into your cactus shape. Slide the left fingertips onto the ground where your elbow was. Pressing fingers into the ground, bending the left knee, sliding it up towards your elbow. Let the inside of your right shoulder drape towards the ground and just look up towards the ceiling over that left shoulder. You can feel the stretch in your neck, inside of that right shoulder. Good, and slowly come back down again. I'm going to get you to take this left hand, slide it underneath your chest, right over to the right side of your mat. Bend your right knee up and then just slide your right arm up and over you. So coming into kind of a lazy twist. Imagine you're in bed and you're just like, oh, try to take up as much of the bed as possible. That's it. And then just unfurling, coming back, and do that on the other side. So let your left arm come back into kind of a sphinx. Take that right arm, slide it underneath, right onto the left side of your mat, and then take that left arm up and behind you, and then to a twist. Rinsing it all out, and then just slide your way back again. That's it. Now take your bolster. If you haven't got a bolster, you'll need a firm pillow or the edge of your, just grab your squab off the sofa or something like that. And we're going to just put it underneath the boobs, just on the rib cage, and put your forearms just over the top. Shoulders are where from the ears. So you could just use a like a tightly rolled up blanket as well. That would be good. So Sphinx pose, but you don't have to do any work. You just kind of lie here. Drop the chin down and then just stretch the front of the neck a little bit. Chin slides up, drop the chin down, and then chin slides up, and then back into neutral, and just let your shoulders and your head be relaxed. Lovely passive extension of the back. See if you can focus on the back of your lungs. And as you breathe, you can feel the front of your lungs pressing into your prop. Just see if you can imagine the back of your lungs opening up like balloons. Very good. Now we're just going to slide ourselves back into a child pose. So you might need to take this bolster and put it underneath your bum, between your thighs and your calves, and maybe grab another bolster to lie on. So if you find coming down like that is not comfortable, please put something behind you. We're just going to take those knees nice and wide. You want to have the bolster not right underneath you, but just in front of you so that you can slide down and just kind of flop your torso onto your prop. Knees as wide as is comfortable for you. So obviously the wider they go, the deeper the stretch in the groin. And you can, if you are working on opening up pelvic floor muscles, releasing tension, you can always turn your toes out as well. So this makes it a deeper inner thigh and pelvic stretch. But up to you tonight, yeah? So take the restorative of your choice. I want you to be comfortable, and we want to be as melty, waxy as we can. With every exhalation, you're like a melting candle, just kind of puddling. There you go, puddling down towards the ground. Mm. The more you can sigh your breaths out, making a bit of low vibrational noise, the more the brain gets a signal that it is safe just to let go of all the accumulated stress. The cortisol drains away. So this is unbelievably, it's interesting. It's actually what we need if we want to lose that cortisol belly, that tie around the tummy. We need to do more of this. Just turning the head to the other side so you don't get a crick in your neck. Again, noticing the breath in the back of your lungs. The lower lobes are where we have most of our lung capacity. Very good. We're just going to slide the hands under the shoulders. Very gently push yourself up. Bring yourself onto hands and knees. Feel nice and floppy here. Just move your pelvis in a circle. So imagine your tail is winding around in a circle behind you. Lazy circles. And see if you can bring that movement slightly upwards into the rib cage. And then up a little bit further into the shoulders, bending the elbows as you swirl the torso around. Beautiful. And then we're just going to come through some cat and cows, but please make it all come from your pelvis. So start just tucking the tail and then lifting the tail. Or if you imagine the sacrum, the triangle of the sacrum, we're just tilting the bottom of that triangle downwards, the top of the triangle upwards, and then we're tilting the top of the triangle down and the bottom of the triangle up. And once you've got that rhythm of movement through the pelvis, and go ahead and ripple the movement up your spine, right up, articulating each vertebra through to your shoulders, through to your neck and your head. So you can sigh the breath out, get every little bit of puff out of your lungs. And just noticing how the diaphragm then can really pull a fresh lungful of air right to the bottom of your lungs. Very good. Let your tail stay up, spreading your sitting bones, tuck your toes. Very slowly draw your pelvis back, 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 and up. Keep the knees bent. Roll shoulders away from ears. Stretch the armpits. Stretch your spine. And then, if you can, reach the top of your head. So it's just in front of the fontanelle now, onto your prop, your bolster. It might not reach. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. But if you can reach it there, you might need to adjust your hands and your feet. As we gently press the heels down towards the ground, one at a time, little gentle paddle here. Do that. And then see if you can just slide both heels down as if your calf muscles are melting down through your Achilles and down through the heels to the ground. You want to push down and out with your hands, just resting the head into your bolster. So we create this fantastic length through the spine. That's the way. Now bend the knees, come onto the balls of your feet again. Keep your head down. Walk your feet towards your bolster. Toes are in, heels are out, knees are bent. Tummy just rests on your thighs, and forearms can just rest on your bolster. So you come into a kind of little acorn shape, resting here. That's it. And then taking the hands on your bolster and just press yourself up into a tabletop. So straighten the spine a bit, straighten the legs as much as you can without any too much stretch. Toes are in, heels are out. And then bend the knees again, let the head drop down, and then push the floor away, raise back up. And then one more, exhaling down. And then inhaling, back up. Good. Hands just above the knees. Pause here, shoulders away from ears, and then softening again. And just roll yourself up one vertebra at a time now. Keep the toes in, and then we're just going to release the head and shoulders. So I'll place you here. Drop back down, and then let the head and shoulders roll around. Feet quite wide. Roll around. Nice. Exaggerated. Unwinding. There we go, that's good. And let's do the other direction. Let your bum go behind you, so there is movement through the pelvis as well. Yeah, take your feet. I'm just going to come back here so you can see me. Take your feet a bit wider on your mat, a little bit wider. Knees can be soft, toes slightly in, and then arms out, shoulders are down. And then pull the fingertips back towards you. So the heels of the hands are pushing out, nice and strong. Push down and out with your feet. See if you can straighten your legs a bit more. So you're like a star shape. And just breathe a couple of times up and down your spine. Chin is drawn back, so we've got that lovely long posture. Head is stacked on top of your neck. Ujjayi breathing. And then swivel your feet to the left. And as you breathe out, just kind of push your hand away from you, slightly beyond your other hand. And then as you breathe in again, slide your hand across your heart center, a little bit like you're pulling on a bowstring. And then we swivel the feet to the other side. And we use the breath to press the hand right away from us. Slow breath in, feet back into goddess, and then a very slow pressing Ujjayi breath out. Create a strong Ujjayi breath sound. Imagine you're kind of pushing your hands through treacle. So there's a drag on the hands. Beautiful. Coming back into the center. Toes out, heels in. Drop yourself down. Elbows or forearms hooking just on the inside of your knees, gently pressing those away. So we open up the inner thighs. Drop one shoulder slightly, look over the other shoulder. Inhale into the center, drop the other shoulder slightly, looking over the other shoulder. Beautiful. Coming down onto the ground. So we want to sort of, as gracefully as we possibly can, hands behind us, bum onto the ground, feet out in front, and then swiveling the hips. A little massage for the hip joints. This is taking your knees in a 90-degree angle. Massaging. Massaging. Beautiful. And then just taking the feet out. And you might need your blanket here to just put the edge underneath your sitting bones towards your pubic bone. So what we don't want is when we're sitting to be sitting onto the tail and feet rolling out and rounding through the lower back. We want to be lifting upwards, so take as much height as you need to, so that the pubic bone feels like it's dropping forward and the sitting bones feel nice and wide. And there's a slight inward roll, so you can feel this inner thigh stretch here. And we have this lift up through the torso. So this is all quite nice and tall, whereas if we're slumped, we don't get the stretch. So we've got to be up here. And then interlacing the hands, and imagine you're just stirring a big pot. So you get a gentle stretch through the inner thighs, and it's lovely, just a gentle massage through the bladder, the uterus, lovely softening through the belly. That's it. I'll get you to start to hum your exhalations out. Very good. And then just bring your feet so they're comfortably crossed. Comfortably crossed here. Do a little bit of pranayama practice. If you need to put bricks, pillows, something underneath your knees so that you don't have, especially if there's just one that's high, prop them both. Yeah, so make sure that your hip flexors are not straining. So if your knees are up here, they're straining. We want to just have something so knees can feel relaxed. Hip flexors can soften here. Good. So find that lovely point where your head is sitting right on top of your neck. Lift and roll one shoulder and then the other shoulder. So they're sitting in the back of the sockets. Get a nice open chest here. You can feel a little bit of activation through your corsatory muscles. So we're going to do a little bit of alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana breath. See if you can count 4 beats in, a beat at the top, and then 6 beats out, a beat at the bottom, 4 beats in, beat at the top, 6 beats out. So it's like a wishing bone shape. And we want to aim the breath in that third eye point. So what I quite like to do is put my peace fingers right onto that third eye point. I'm going to a bit closer so you can see me do this. Right there, and using thumb and ring finger. You can always hold onto your elbow if you feel that it's getting a bit heavy. So blocking off left nostril to start off with, breathing in 4 beats. Top of the beat, top of the breath a beat, and then breathing out 6 beats. Breathing in for 4 beats. Blocking off the left nostril, right nostril, out for 6 beats. Beat at the end, breathing in for 4 beats. Beat at the top, breathing out for 6. In for 4. And out for 6. and in for 4, and out for 6. Keep going with that. And when you finish your next exhalation, just taking the hands down to rest on your thighs, becoming aware of the space just around your body, about 10 centimeters around your body. I'm going to get you to do 3 rounds of the Buzzy Bee Brahmahari breath. You take your right hand onto your heart center and your left hand onto your lower belly, so just below your tummy, just above your pubic bone. And as you breathe in, imagine your breath is coming in through your heart center. And then as you create the Buzzy Bee sound, imagine that breath is just flowing downwards and into your lower belly, around your pelvis. So let's take a nice deep breath in together. 2 more. Again, just sliding your hands down onto your thighs. Your mind's eye just underneath the skin surface. Notice what it feels like inside your skin, inside, around your heart, around your belly. I'm going to get you to come down onto the ground very, very slowly. And if you take a bolster underneath your knees, make sure you're warm with a blanket on top. And it's really nice to spend 5 minutes lengthening the muscles in the back of our neck and into the upper part of our shoulder girdle. So if you come down for a moment so that you're on your forearms, you need a pillow or something underneath your knees. Feet are relatively wide, at least 30 centimeters apart, and toes dropping out. We want to just slightly tuck the tail under so we can start to stretch the back of our pelvis. And then from your forearms, pull your vertebra as you come down onto the ground. See if you can pull them apart, slowly coming down. You're going to end up with your chin tucked right in and your shoulders up by your ears. So it's not comfortable yet. Now, shoulders are up. I'm going to get you to take the left shoulder, slide it into the back of the socket, and then pull the hand down towards the bolster, palm is up. And do the same thing with the right shoulder. Back, slide it down, slide it down, slide it down, palm is up. Chin stays tucked in. So now we have an extreme stretch on the back of the neck. And I'm going to get you to spend the next 5 minutes focusing on allowing the upper back muscles and the neck muscles and the multifidi muscles that support your spine and the lower back muscles just soften like that melting wax. So this is a lovely way to both integrate your practices, but also to really improve your posture and release pain that accumulates when we have got the head poking even slightly forward. See if you can relax your jaw again. Focusing on heaviness of your tongue in your mouth, the softness of your cheeks, the softening of the muscles around the eyes, between the brows. Allowing the eyeballs to feel heavy, weighted, so that your brain feels like it's relaxing, just sinking a little bit towards the ground. Encouraging the back of your skull to soften. Noticing if you can relax the back of your neck even more. Encouraging your upper back muscles to melt. Encouraging your psoas muscles, those hip flexor muscles that attach into your lower back, encouraging them to release, soften, melt. Imagine your legs are heavy like lead. Imagine your arms are heavy like lead. Imagine your whole torso is heavy like lead. Or there's a lead blanket just draped over you. Paying attention now to the very tips of your nostrils. Noticing the air just gently coming in and out of your nostrils. Focusing on the inhalation And see if you can deepen the inhalation just a little bit. And just start to move your fingers and toes. And very, very slowly, as your body's feeling heavy, very slowly, let your feet draw up to rest on your bolster. And then very slowly roll to one side. Molten lead, so very heavy, slow, rolling, pressing the floor away. To come and sit. Taking a little bit of movement to find the sweet spot where your head rests perfectly on top of your neck. Let your mind stay just inside the skin surface, feeling the sensations of your body. And just taking the palms, giving them a little rub together. Just a gentle rub. This will help activate the left and right hemispheres of your brain so you can roll off to bed. And just pause. Press those hands into your heart center, acknowledging yourself for coming and practicing. Mentally saying to your body, your fantastic vessel, thank you, thank you, thank you. And ladies, thank you for joining me tonight. Namaste.